good evening, good evening, fam. Good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you're watching this on a replay, thank you for joining our authentic discussion tonight. Right,
Yeah.
I am Robert Soldier, pastor of New Life Changing Christian Center, and next to me is my lovely wife, Robin.
Hello, hello, hello.
And also, you guys know who's online here. We got Marcus T,
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
and underneath is my sis, Kathy.
Hello, everyone.
Let me say, Elder New Life Changing Christian Center.
Yes.
Excuse me. We're back tonight
Mhm.
with some more discussion, more talk, authentic conversation.
Yeah.
Just
Real talk.
right, real talk, right? Real
Mhm.
life talk.
Mhm.
And topics tonight, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna jump right in. The impact of social media.
Mm.
The impact of social media. We're gonna talk about social media tonight, and we're on social media,
How
right?
about that?
That's
Right.
But we want to talk about a couple things. We're not gonna dive too deep. We try to keep it surface, but we'll see how everything goes. But we're gonna talk about the impact of social media, how it impacts our lives. Um, I want to jump right in, right? First, let's do our social media, which is it should pop up on the screen soon.
Oh.
Facebook. You can join us on Facebook at New Life Changing CC. Go over to YouTube, which is New Life Christian Center Inc. Go over there and hit that subscribe button. And also our website is newlifechangingcc.org. That's our website. So go over there, and that has all our information on there. So you can stay updated with the New Life.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump right in, fam. Y'all want me to start it off, or y'all gonna start it off?
Who got it?
You want me to start it off? All right.
Start
All right, cool. The impact of social media. Excuse me. Looking at this, I was looking at statistics of social media, right? And I just had all my statistics up. All right, and this is from the Pew Research Center, right? Social media is interesting. The app that gets the most views is interesting. I didn't know that, which is YouTube. YouTube, and right under that is Facebook. 80% of individuals, U.S. adults, they look at YouTube. 60% look at Facebook, right? And then it drops all the way down to Instagram. That drops to 20%. Well, as of, let me take it back. Let me read it correctly. These stats came out in 2024. So as 2024, the end of 2024, over 80% of U.S. adults watch YouTube. Then it has a drastic drop to about 70%. Not a drastic drop, but about 68, 70% of U.S. adults watch Facebook. Then it goes all the way down to like 40% of U.S. adults go to Instagram. So the top ones, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Then it goes to Pinterest. TikTok falls real low. LinkedIn.
TikTok falls low. That's interesting. I thought it would be high.
Yeah, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Snapchat. Then, X, formerly known as Twitter. Reddit. And the bottom one is Be Real. I'm not familiar with that one. But that's interesting. And going into age, the age group, ages 18 to 29, right? 68% are on Facebook, 76 are on Instagram. And then the next one, YouTube, seems to be the biggest, 93%. And 30 to 49-year-olds, the biggest one is also YouTube. And right next,
YouTube.
right under that is Facebook.
Oh wow.
And then Instagram. Then we go to 50 to 64, which is in my group, right? They like YouTube.
Yeah.
And then we go to Facebook, and then we go to Then we jump all the way. We go to Instagram, yeah, 36%. And 65 and over, they love. There is in between. They love Facebook
and
and
YouTube.
YouTube.
That's cute.
That is funny. I'm just gonna read one last one. Between men and women, more women, 78%, compared to men, 61%, look at Facebook. Then YouTube is the biggest, 83% women and 87% men. I was looking at that. That's probably because we go in there to get DIYs, right? We go in there and get instructions and everything because you put everything together.
Well, I was thinking that's what we were doing.
Yeah, but men are jumping on in there. You know, we outside looking at something, working on something. We like pull that phone out, go straight to YouTube, right? And the lowest at the bottom is I've never heard of Be Real. If you heard of it, Marcus, anybody, please shout out. Never heard of Be Real. But that is interesting. So the biggest one is YouTube. The biggest one is YouTube. I also was looking at some things which is interesting. The mental aspect of social media, how it messes up with our mental health, right? And reading in, this is the McLean Institute. I'm gonna read a little article real quick. Y'all cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. Sure. So, the social media platform Instagram made headlines last year for suppressing likes in an effort to curb the comparison and hurt feelings associated with attaching popularity to sharing content. But do these efforts combat mental health issues, or are they simply applying a band-aid to a wound? And a small step in the right direction, says Jacqueline Sperling, a PhD at the McLean Hospital, who works with youth who experience anxiety disorders about Instagram's recent restrictions. Even if you remove the likes, there continue to be opportunities for comparison and feedback. People still can compare themselves to others, and people still can post comments. Social media has a reinforcing nature. Using it activates the brain's reward center by releasing dopamine, a feel-good chemical linked to pleasurable activities such as sex, food, and social interaction. The platforms are designed to be addictive and are associated with anxiety, depression, and even physical ailment. That is interesting. According to the Pew Research Center, 69% of adults and 81% of teens in the U.S. use social media. This puts a large amount of the population at an increased risk of feeling anxious, depressed, or ill over their social media use. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. All right, family. Do y'all think social media, the impact of social media, is how big is it? You think is serious? It can be serious, or it is serious, or there's benefits to it.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. So, can you hear me? We good? All right. So I looked up Be Real, right? Because it's interesting title, right? Be Real is a social media app that encourages users to share unfiltered images of their lives. Unfiltered images of their lives, right? The app was released in 2020, right? Now, put a pin in that right there, right? Your question. I do believe that this is a huge thing for us as anybody who's on it, or even those who aren't on it, because you still impact one another by it. We've seen in our generation, the millennial generation, the shift of social media, right? We can go back to this. Most of the young folk don't know about it. So we go back to MySpace era, right? Or even before that, we had things called Tag and Black Planet. All those apps there for meeting people, like Facebook is now. And back then, those were really just fun places to be. As time evolved, so does access to social media. Because back then, you had to have the dial-up connection. The moment it was on the phone,
Yeah.
Don't you get that they call it the inner way, you know, because you have to switch out the cords. But if you had a little money, you have the dual jack, you know. Um, but as time went on, you know, you had Facebook became more prevalent. Facebook was always out there, and I didn't know this until I got a little through my social media thing. That Facebook was been around for a long time, right? But it was for a specific purpose, not like it is today. But just like it keeps evolving. Twitter evolved, Instagram evolved, Snapchat evolved into something they call OnlyFans. I'm just saying it's out there, right?
Mm.
And having that access to all those things there, like you said when you read the statistics, it's messing with your psyche, your mental, because now you have this filtered image of society, how you're supposed to be because this person posts this. I'm supposed to look this way. You know, Instagram allows you to filter your pictures, right? If you follow me on my social media, I typically do black and white pictures most of the time, or as Robin says, the old school vintage look. 'Cause it takes away the aesthetic of the this and it allows the blemish to come forward, right? And even when I edit my pictures, I take off the auto editor and I pull back the sharpness, right? You can see the blemishes in my face in my picture. You can see the craters, the creases, the crevices, because I want you to see me. I remember there was a time when I was on Instagram when it first was popping. People started doing the real filter pictures, and I was like, I don't look like that. You know, my nose is built. The bridge of my nose is wrong. Now I can edit it in now. I'm really good at what I do. I can edit it in now, right? Or I can change my complexion. I can change the way my teeth look, right? I'm missing teeth in the back. If I smile, you see them. I can add teeth in my mouth, right? Because I was trying to fit this mold, and I was like, it's like you said, we go back, we think about how it affects us mentally, and this ain't healthy for me because I'm trying to be something else because of this absence of what I'm supposed to
Mm.
be. Right now, we fast forward to the era of TikTok. Fun, we dancing, we having fun, we're encouraging, we're doing all things here. For me, I think TikTok was that bridge, that callus that said, you know what, I ain't got to be perfect, cause I can be my goofy self. Either you like it or you don't, but you're gonna like it because you're gonna see my video, 'cause it's gonna pop up on your page, but whether you like it or not, right? I'm gonna get the view because you gotta scroll past it, you know. But like you said, you are subject to comment or criticism. It's there. If you on it, you can't get away from it. Like us right now, I guarantee you, somebody right now is watching this live right now. They might not comment it. 'Cause I'm looking at the comments, but they might not comment it. But they're gonna think it, right? Why they look like that? Or this ain't that. Or my favorite one. This ain't church. You
Mm.
know, because that's how we've been programmed with social media. We here talking about stuff on Bible discussion. We're supposed to have the Bible in our hands. We're supposed to be going through the analytics of from Genesis to Revelation and everything in between, right? That's what the social media says. Because you see the churches online, that's what they're doing, right? So I do think that the impact is hugely. It's a drastic thing that's happening now, and I think that if we aren't careful, we can go down that slope hard and fast. We've been there. We've all been there one time or two. But I encourage everybody to just be vigilant and be mindful of what you're viewing, what you're liking, what you're following,
Mm.
trend and person, because those things can take you to a space you ain't supposed to be at.
Mhm.
You know, but that's folks, y'all just be careful. Please be careful. Just go to the website newlifechangingchristiancenter.org and follow the church, all the social media platforms. All right, just be a part of this here, so you guys can get the fruitfulness of it all, the positivity and encouragement.
Facts.
Absolutely. I may be kind of telling my age, but when I first thought about the topic, it was me remembering how there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram, and all the other things that you guys said. We had, in order to get on what was called the internet, you had to connect a cable into a modem, and then there was this dial connection, right, to get on it.
Right.
And at that time, it was just used for what? Information. That's all it
Mhm.
was. There was no
Mhm.
entertainment or nothing. It was just information. So yes, it has drastically changed from then until now. I believe that the people who like started, I think Facebook and Instagram, all those things, I think it was for communication and connectivity, right? So maybe the base of the reason as to why it's there is something that's good. I think the use that people do is what's caused it to be bad, because you turn it into something totally opposite of what it's supposed to be used for. I agree with Marcus. You have to be careful. I don't care what social media platform it is, on what you're watching, because you just said the stats, right? You think about people who didn't have anxiety or depression before. Now you get on a platform and you looking at a TikTok reel or somebody saying something, and then all of a sudden you got anxieties. All of a sudden you're depressed. That thing that you was talking about where it said, when you said people compare themselves to others, that's an actual thing. It is called a highlight reel challenge, I believe it is. And that is a real thing where people get on there for their whole purpose of comparing themselves to somebody else. And that's dangerous. It's serious, because I've seen stories where people have taken their lives from stuff on the internet. I have seen where a lady was suing the internet, or I don't know if the internet, or maybe the company, because their child committed suicide because they were being bullied. Right. And then I've seen stories where people are following each other. You got stalkers on there. You got predators on, like, you got all of that on there. So we have to be careful all around. Now, Marcus, you said people may be thinking that this is not the church platform or whatever. I don't know if the Bible talks about social media, but let me just throw 2 scriptures out there just in case you need the word of God.
Come on, Elder.
Just in case you just need a word. Let me pull them up. You can't see my face, so I'm just pulling up the scriptures. The first one, because I think Pastor Rob Nano think too, he was teaching some time ago about these seductions and how we have to be careful about what we what we watch, what we partake, what we put into our spirits, right? So Exodus chapter number 20, verse number 3 says, "There shall have no other gods before me." And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we're not careful, we can make this internet, this social media platforms, into our gods, meaning you're no longer focusing on what God is saying and doing. Now you're looking for the next word from somebody that's on the line, or I remember you telling us also, Pastor Rob, one time, like the first thing you do in the morning is get on your phone. You know what I mean? You ain't even said, God, thank you for the day. You're looking for, I don't know, whatever you're looking for when you first get up in the morning. So let's just be careful that we don't turn it into a God. Right? And then the other scripture, just in case they need a scripture, Ephesians 5:15-16 says, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil." Meaning, how are we spending our time throughout the entire day? You talked about the statistics. There are people who spend countless hours, not a couple of minutes, hours on the internet. They can't function without it. They can't breathe without it. They can't eat without it. It has become their entire life. So we just have to be careful all around about these social media platforms. And I don't think it's necessarily going to get better. I think it may going to get worse, because it's enticing. It's going to keep continuing to come up with the next thing to draw us in. So
the I heard this pastor say that one of the and it was just funny, I was just scrolling. I never really watch him, so don't ask me who it is, because I don't remember. But he had said people pleasing, like you say, those because they do those challenges to, I'm saying, to get likes, to get clicks, to get whatever. And even on this topic of social media, like people pleasing is a top sign that you are committing idolatry. Right? Sort of what not sort of, but exactly what you was just saying, Kathy, in that scripture. Like, you have made this your God. You have made these likes, these clicks, this platform your God. And then And when you doing that, you changing, you changing, like they used to old school say, you changing dance partners now. And so that's where you come up with all of these things that I saw online, the negative impacts of the social media, the mental health issues. It causes isolation.
Yes.
And that's all the enemy wanted to do, is get us by ourselves. You understand? We can't, even communicate with a person anymore in person. I'd rather, you can call. I got a friend now, I can call. They won't pick up the phone, but it'll text me and can text me a paragraph. You know what I mean? Like, it's no more communication. And then next thing, in texting and not being able to communicate with people, you get that miscommunication thing. So now we beefing through the airwaves, but it's not what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know, because all we can deal with is this thing here. And then that turns into a bigger situation. And now I don't have any friends, and I'm just going to stay in the house, and this is what I do. And now you're isolated. And that is exactly where the enemy wanted you to be. And that's exactly where you are. Mm-hmm. And then that lines you up to be attacked in your mind, to be attacked in your body, because it's all connected. Like you were saying, it's connected to the illness. It's connected. You wondering why, my skin is breaking out. I was talking to my daughter today, and she was having issues in her scalp, and she was like, "Yeah, that's directly related to stress." You worked up. I remember just a couple weeks ago when what was it? TikTok shut down? Was it TikTok? Mm-hmm. Yeah, TikTok shut. My daughter was the first thing I saw online. Like, no. What I mean? She did it in a jokingly way, but she was worked up, and others were worked up just as bad. You know what I'm saying? And like that whole thing caused a situation, like a stress level. Like, are we serious? So we take these things, but it's very serious for folks, because after I've isolated myself, now all I have is this, and this is how I connect to outside. Right. This is how I connect people. So now I'm getting misinformed, because I'm following and looking at this, and everybody's on there has an opinion and can speak whatever they want to speak, and they can nicely say, like you always say, I wish I could articulately say and say all these big words and give you all this, this sultry energy behind it with a little tune in the back, and you know what I'm saying, and doing little stuff, pulling you in, constantly pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling you in. And if you notice, because I noticed it and checked myself, I'm on social media. And I'm just flicking, because that's the thumb. There you go. Boom, boom, or you boom, boom. And I'm like, just keep taking a deep breath. You're tired. It's draining. It is overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It is pulling everything. My eyes hurting, my hair hurt. I'm looking at stuff. Oh my God, this is crazy. Now I'm getting anxiety about this. Oh, they throw a spider at you. And I remember my mother was like, anytime you go, that's a opening for the enemy to come in. You know what I mean? And I don't know how true that is, but I feel like, but I'm going like, and maybe she didn't explain it well. Don't take that, y'all. That ain't no word enough. And I'm saying that's my mama taught me, so that I would fear the devil. That's what she wanted me. Like, get away from anything that scared you like that. Don't do that. That was the point of her story. But if I went like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's taking my, and I was like, oh, that scared me. Now my chest beating fast. Now I'm going through all, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much. Like, it brings so much. And then it makes you, you're processing different. And then you start talking what you're assuming, because this is what they say. Who are they? You know what I'm saying? And they are not you, is what I try to tell my kids. Like, you can't go by what they're doing, because that's not you. You're not them. So why do we do that? If you want to look at it for, just, I don't know, passing time is one thing, but you can't take that stuff. And it's drawing. I mean, it is totally drawing and draining you. Like, I can feel it when I do it myself. And I'm like, oh, this is insane. and you're not even if you're just, looking and laughing, just the whole process. Now I got my neck sore, and I'm like, oh, my thumb hurt, and and then and Rob's like, you need to put the phone down. I'm like, you may be right, and now I got carpal tunnel in my wrist, and now my neck sore. That's making my back hurt. That's making my side hurt because I'm stuck in a position. It is insanity. It is insanity, and you're right, Kat. I don't believe that it's going to get any better, but we got to do better.
Yeah.
And
don't get me wrong, I get tired of it after a while. You know what I mean? I do. I'm tired of saying the some of the stuff that I see. I'm just like, oh, that's just irritating. I'm like, I get frustrated. I'm like, I don't even want to see that. But it is the point that you was talking about, the disconnect. That's why when I'm around my child and my grandson, like me, he's in an era where, again, he don't know anything about that dial-up with cable that I was talking about. That's all he knows is what's out there now, right? So I try to tell him and warn him about certain things, especially people that's trying to lure him in into conversations, or these pretending like they're this and you don't even know the person, and things like that. But I make sure that if we're having like dinner, we turn the devices off. We don't even bring them to the table, because I want to make sure that we stay connected. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be the way that we do it. Is we're gonna have to put all the devices to the side, and let's have some, like we're doing now, some real talk about life and what's going on with you. So we need to keep that too.
That's funny. You talk about the mental health part of it all. I remember when COVID first went mainstream, if you will, and TikTok became that space for everything. A lot of individuals using TikTok as their stress reliever, though. So we also have that other side of it all, right? And I won when I started my TikTok journey. I was late in the game, and I was like, my nephew was like, you should get on TikTok. It's gonna be cool. And I'm not doing too much work, and I was like, I missed the ball big time for a certain reason. But when I got on there, I realized that I was able to do something there that I couldn't do nowhere else. Right? I was able to just pour out everything there, creatively. I was able to encourage people while encouraging myself, while encouraging others. That back and forth thing I had going on, and I still do today. I remember when I posted my first video on TikTok. For those of you who don't know, I have a disability, right? And the video was me simply standing up off the floor without my walker, but only using the strength of my body and my cane. If you know, I was struggling to the nail to transition from the walker to the cane as it was. I posted a video, and that same week I was doing a cleanse of social media. So for the 5 days, I was not on social media at all. I mean, the notifications muted, the apps was off my phone. I was recording nothing, uploading anything, and I kept getting phone calls, and I was like, why? Like, why is my family calling me? Whatever. They were like, you need to get back on and see what's going on, because something's happening with your social media. And I was like, man, I got hacked. I'm about these people that got me. I got to start over again. You know how you get hacked and everything was left at that point. So they start sending weird messages to people. So I'm like, I got to go through and do some damage control. I logged back in TikTok, and that single video had over 10,000 views and likes on it. Me just standing on the floor. And I was like, what happened here? Then I realized people took that video. I mean, I told you, I took that video. Then they shared it on their pages. Then they shared it on Instagram accounts. And then it went to Facebook. It was on Twitter. I'm like, okay, what's like, huh? I went viral overnight for simply standing up. And then I went through all the comments, like every last one, to see what it was about. There was negativity there, but majority of it was encouragement, saying, you got this, the strength is there, so on and so forth. And I realized that in that moment, people are looking for that simple glance of green on the other side sometimes. If they can, I can type thing. Yes, we do have those people going to try to be the next Kylie Jenner, if you will, or the next this, that, and the third. That's there. That even without social media, that's there. But the upside is people go there for that relief, for that encouragement, for that, and it's for I'm a part of advance. If my videos pour y'all in, I'm sorry. All right, I don't do it intentionally. I'm trying to encourage folks, right? But I do that for a reason, though. And when I get on social media, it was so much stuff I was dealing with there. Even sharing my story about my diagnosis. So much hatred came about that there from both sides of the fence. And I was like, hold up, y'all, because some bad words would have come out, really hard, really fast on social media, which would have threw my brand back. through as a person back. And I remember I sat with my friends, I sat with my wife, and I sat with you guys. And I'm like, I got to figure this out here because I'm doing something that I want to do to encourage not only them but myself because I'm walking this journey of a newness right now. And I can't go face to face with you. The best way I knew how to do it was get to the masses, which was YouTube. Millions of people saw those videos, and people reached out from countries that I can't even pronounce type thing, who weren't following my content then, but they were like, I need to know where you are and what you're doing next. And I was like, this is creepy a little bit. Not like that guy from
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines. I was like, I'm not trying to get snatched up off the street, middle of the night type thing. But then I looked into who he was as well. He was a person that was like, look, your story reaches people here in my home space here. And I didn't realize the shift that was happening there. So we can take social media and use it for our advantage. We do it now.
Yeah.
We run business. We run businesses on social media,
Yeah.
right? If social media go away right now, I ain't got no job, right? As a social media management consultant, I ain't got. If that go away, I'm you know. But we use that to that advantage there, and I do think that sometimes we forget that the influence we have is bigger than we think it is. A simple post can change somebody's life like that. You know, I remember, like you said, you saw the pastor talking. Rob, I don't like these podcasts. I can't stand them now. These new ones, they irritate me with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
But a young lady got on the podcast and she said that she divorced her husband because he lost his job. And as we do, go right to the comments. Five, first five. Oh, you good? Yes, right. You did that in the third, and you go down, and you realize that people are pulling us in here, right? That now that toxicity down in these people here, and you're like, yo, this one person just damaged 17 people with a 17-second clip because
Mm-hmm.
your idiosyncrasy says I'm better than you because you can't provide for me the way you're supposed to as a man. In that particular instance there. And I watched it and I sat back. I said it to my friend. I was like, "Yeah, I need your thoughts here because I may be missing something here. Where's my disconnect here? Because I'm trying to figure out how this is possible." And he said to me, he said, "Yo, this is social media." He said, "You can say anything you want to because you got a microphone and a camera, and nobody is held accountable for anything because you can do so because it's social media." Right. So now we look back at things now and say, how can we be the positive impact on things because that's what's needed today. Like you said, we see these babies going to school mimicking what they see online because that's cool to do that. It's cool for me to throw up gang signs or to I remember it's funny. These kids was doing this a while back was bringing home making guns out of Lego blocks. Now you can't count to 10, but you can build a gun out of Lego set. You can't tie your shoe, but you can bully this person here. Yeah, it's all there. It's in your face. Like I said, you used to get the scrolling. I ain't gonna lie. Before we got on this live, I was scrolling. Oh, I was scrolling, right? Only because it was real. I wanted to go back to. I was scrolling. I'm trying to find a recipe. Y'all. I was scrolling, but I was like, and I was about 15 minutes in. I'm like, I'm just like, I got the radiation burn on my hand because the phone got hot, and that's real stuff. It's really there. It happens. We're enticed into these things here because it says it's what we're supposed to do. Like I said, it's an addictive principle. I got my iPad here, phone here, my laptop here, everything's on, right? I'm running 7 things at one time right now because it's pulling me in, right? Whether it's for work or not, it's still pulling me in because it's saying I have to be there, and I want to go back to the dial-up era. It was simple back then. See, I'm old. I'm young enough to know about that. I'm not old. I'm not that. I don't know about the dial-up era. Elder Catholic, we young enough to know about those eras. You know what I'm saying? Because we understood the luxury it was and the it was an incentive way to get online, right, on the World Wide Web, right? Y'all believe that? I'm just running with the www still for. I learned about 5 years ago. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. But it was a luxury to say I'm gonna go get on here and play solitaire or what's the Minecraft, the Minefield game for you to play. Still don't know how to play it, but I got online to play it. Ping pong. Those are the things we're doing then. But and you look at it now, I really pray for these, even the kids at school.
Yeah.
I was talking to my niece the other day. There was a shooting at her school. It happened yesterday. The shooting around her school, and I reached out to her. First thing I thought was, her mom texted me to check on her. I checked on her. First thing I thought was, let me go on social media and see what they're talking about. It was the first 3 posts was on social media about this shooting, and not from the news. From students recording what's going on, right? From like you're recording. There are people out here shooting, and you're recording what's happening right now. That's what we come to as a people.
Mhm.
Baby Doc. If your first instinct is actually my first instinct to grab my phone and record, something's not right no more. Now it's a disconnect again. It's sad. It makes you want to just hug somebody really, really tight. Now let me go a little bit.
Just need a
You know,
hug.
yeah, just them grandma hugs, grandma's
Mhm.
head. That's what they need. It for me. It's a sad day to see people being torn down by other people who don't even know you. It's because you look a certain way or talk a certain. My lisp is a big thing for me. When I first started YouTube, Najee was getting comments from me because people they were dogging me about my lisp, about certain things. One dude even told me I wasn't nothing, and she caught a comment from 5D, right? And I was like, let me take back. God, come on now. Like I want to know what I did to this person here, because all I'm trying to do is encourage something. And if it's not for you, 2 tears in the bucket, keep moving on. But for some reason we can't do this. It's really backwards to me. I don't get it. People they need to read a book. That's the problem.
But I see it. It's interesting, y'all. It's pros and cons to it, right? On both sides, like you saying, it's business. People have made money. Instagram now is mainly business. It's advertisement and putting your products out and things of that nature. TikTok, I don't know where it's at. Facebook is just a conglomerate. I look at it as the bulletin board, maybe at your office in the break room where people just throw up stuff on the board and it has no order or whatever. And it's just information. Not even, I don't think it's informative. It's just a bunch of stuff. The social media, right? It started out, like y'all said, Facebook was, what's the name, started in college for students to connect, right, online in different places. And it's supposed to have been a media place that you can socialize on, right? But it has been taken, money and all that has been taken and just exploded, right? Anything, I think, and Kathy was reading scripture and you guys was talking about it. Anything that I can grab and control your mind with, I have you. Yep. The enemy, that's his main thing. We keep thinking like the enemy attacking me. The enemy is doing this to me. The enemy, and we keep hollering out. And majority of the time, it's just us attacking ourselves and having a battle with ourselves. It's not, you know what I mean? And it's our mindset, right? It's our mindset. So when I grab the phone, the pad or the laptop and scroll through things, I want what I'm allowing now, like you said, your mother said, if you're scared, you devil coming in. Well, if you trip and fall down the steps, you'll be scared. But no. But
listen, it wasn't word. It's her word.
Well, that was cute. That was cute.
Right.
If I can grab you and draw you in, that's where the music comes from. When you see different apps, the settings, like I was saying, the color, the pictures, then pull you because I want to draw you in. Then I have you. Now, since I have you and you've been looking at me for 30 seconds, I'm gonna give you more and more of that same thing because I want to draw you further and further from yourself. I want you to come out of yourself, not realizing what you're doing. It's like you said, you get tired of looking at it, but it's a drug, and I can't stop myself. Now I don't have no control of myself. The device has control over me. You know what I'm saying? Now that's powerful. I don't know if we see it as powerful. It has control over me because if I don't pick it up and look at it and see what's happening, then my day won't go right. And I'm missing something. It's like on reading the article, the hospital, like they said, it's your dopamine in your mind. It gives you a boost. It makes you feel good. So it grabs your inner and your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, I need this. I need to see what the trend is. I need to see what a celebrity is doing. I need to see what this one is doing. I need to hear what they got to say. I need to hear what this athlete got to say for my day to go good, so I can form my mind based on what they're saying.
Yep.
That, and when you really look at it in this what it really is, that's some serious scary stuff, because it's affecting generations that's after us. Because now I'm not using the God-given mind that God gave me. I'm basing it off of a trend. I'm basing it off of, it's a social, it's like it's so interesting. It's a social experiment. And the enemy knows the manipulation. I got you, because you can't live without it. If that smartphone break, you losing it. If you can't, if you go somewhere and that smartphone is not working properly, you got to find a store.
Yes, indeed.
You got to find the next telephone store, because if I don't get that, my life is over.
Oh,
We have turned these devices and turned media into our what's the thing that keep your heart pumping when you're in the hospital?
Oh,
Defibrillator.
Yeah, or what have you, when they're on the machine. That's our lifeline. Let me say it. We have the thing at the extension of our hand. We have made that our lifeline.
That's fast.
And I look, I said, God, enemy, that was cool. That's slick. Oh, you a bad dude because you grabbed that. We think we have control over it, but we don't. Some of us wake up and we can't even maneuver, like I just said, unless we scroll to see, because my mind is sad this morning. I got to search to see somebody else's mind sad that I can feed off of. Now I can stay in the sad space. Now, since I
can justify my
sadness, and since 30 seconds, I'm gonna get more and more sadness on here and depression. Now I'm feeding that all day long, and it's destroying our mind. The artificial intelligence, that's scary.
Yes,
that's really fearful. You talking about fearful? That's scary.
Yes,
because it's taking over the next generation, it's taking over older generation, older people, it's taking over for the next. It can be used in a positive way to help,
right?
But it also is being used to control. We looking every day for something, like you said, Kathy. I think you said it. Even the ones that so-called say they're Christians or whatever. I got a word to give you, because I'm a prophet. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen next. Tomorrow we're gonna have wars. You're gonna die. You better start stocking up on this. You better start doing this. And once you go on that same road, you go on that now. What you doing? It's like you said. Your mom said, "Oh, you get now." The fear has set in.
Yep.
Right. The fear has set in, and who was the author?
That's it.
Right. So if we look at it in its totality,
that was you trying to say.
Yeah, what she's trying to say. Yeah. I got you at that time. Once the fear sets in, you locked.
Yeah.
You understand? There's a census now. People telling people, don't shop at this place. We doing this. Don't go over here and do this. Because if you do this, that's gonna happen. If you do this, and people are feeding that. So if I stay over here, I never look at the true purpose, the truth. Because the truth, now New Life speaks truth, right? That's why nobody want to listen.
Right. Right.
But if I listen to the truth, that means I gotta push that away. Now I gotta see this over here. And I talk on it all the time, right? Because it's so interesting, and I want to get it out so we can understand it. We thinking the enemy is attacking us because we go outside and trip and fall. Well, you trip and fall because you didn't pay attention, right? You ran into that car. You didn't pay attention, because God gives us the ability to see.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying, spiritually and physically, right? We don't because we're not paying attention. right? So we grab, I don't have the phone. You got your phone over there.
Mm-hmm.
We grab that. We thinking that ain't nothing because we ain't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't paying attention.
Yeah.
We're not paying attention to what is pulling in.
Yep.
We're not paying attention.
Yep.
Now our minds is jacked. We're not paying attention. It's just feeding us. Somebody's telling you to do something.
Yep.
Somebody telling you to trend. Somebody telling the kids to drink this
Mm-hmm.
or hold your breath and choke yourself and all that type of stuff that was crazy. That's been going online and now you got the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's been started years ago, but they stealing cars and they gave them directions how to steal a car online.
Yes.
So it's just feeding. It's just feeding, but you ain't paying attention to that. And the enemy is pouring out through that line, and you being flooded with this. Women are looking at themselves and killing their bodies and yourself because you don't look like this online.
Yeah.
You're killing yourself and fighting with yourself because you don't have what you think that person has. Maybe an automobile, maybe a house. Well, I can go sit on any car out and take a picture like this.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? I can go in the neighborhood. I can go in the neighborhood and stand on somebody's front step that ain't home and take a picture. Even if they're home and they come screaming at me, I can edit that out.
Right.
But I was standing there in front of that house, and you think I live in this
That
manner.
is
so now I'm trying to compare myself, and it's just flooding us, but we ain't paying attention. But we say we are, but we ain't paying attention because we keep scrolling. Black, especially with us in the black community, if a black man's, we get black because now we all black.
We in it.
Yeah, we scroll. Black men say do this, I'm gonna do that. We don't even process it within ourselves for our own minds. To let me get information on that because this is not making no sense. Because such and such, such and such. Me too. I was in there too. Because they said it got to be fact.
Yep.
If they said it, it has to be fact. Just like when you was showing me a picture of somebody and they were wrestling with the whale had swallowed the boat.
Oh yeah.
I said, Rob, that's AI.
That's AI, right?
I said,
it look cool though.
Yeah, it look cool.
It got me.
Yeah. And I said that's AI. But you see how people it has people going.
Yep.
And you can make any and that's why I said it's so scary. Because we could be online, somebody could take a video and alter the sound and change who you are. Now we keep saying the enemy is attacking, but God is giving us a way out of that mess.
Yep.
But what can we do? We can shut it off.
Yep.
It's real easy.
Yep.
It's real easy. We can shut it off or turn it off. We can delete those apps on the phone, can't you?
Yep.
You understand?
Yes, we can.
We can delete them. Now I'm not saying that if that's your business,
Yeah,
business make finance. That's one thing. But you can shut that stuff off. It is controlling us because even Bradley said to me once, he said, Dad, you left your phone home and you went to work. He said, how you manage? He said, how did y'all grow up without phones? How did y'all do it? I said, Brad, we had to use house phone. We had to call each other. And when we said we was going to meet somewhere, we just had to do it. And we got together and we had fun. I said, and I was talking to him about his friends hanging out. He said, no, nobody wants to do that. They want to FaceTime and do this. I said, because the disconnect, like you was just talking about, the disconnect from one human to the other.
Yeah, because in person they can't, but online
they get scared and anxiety. They don't know how to even communicate with one another, and they don't. And what's so powerful now, what's so crazy right now, what's so big is the relationship talk. Relationship talk is all over the place, right?
All over.
You know what I'm saying? It's out of control. So now and it's so much X against marriage, right? Marriage is wrong. Don't get married.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's the worst thing in the world.
Right.
So that's the narrative that's coming out. So what that narrative is breaking and killing God's word about relationship with one, because we're not meant to be alone. You know what I'm saying? We're not meant to be alone. And like you said, Marcus, during COVID, people were alone. They were scared. They didn't know, and that was the only outlet for them to communicate to the outside world because we couldn't
go out.
We couldn't go out.
Exactly.
And then the other hard part was you had to sit with yourself. nobody wanted. A lot of people committed suicide during that time because they
Yes.
couldn't sit with themselves, and you saw your ugly truth.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Social media, the impact is powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can be so good, right? You can get a lot of
it can
informative
be.
information.
Yeah.
I went on social media, put the faucet in the kitchen in the sink because I forgot how to do it.
Right.
Put a new faucet in, right?
Uh-huh.
Stuff around the car. I had to change the license plate
Mhm.
light. Dealer said they're gonna charge me $100 some. I went on
Right.
YouTube,
Right.
popped it out. It cost me $25.
We went on that. For you, Caddy Poo, remember when your tire?
The tire broke. Yep.
Didn't know how to do it on that
Yeah.
Volkswagen, that particular Volkswagen.
Right.
Right there on YouTube.
Right.
And the lady, the
Help us
later
out.
man shows you.
Right.
So what I'm saying
I did
is,
it too. Yeah.
right, it is
No,
a
the
positive.
people make it.
Mhm.
We have taken it
Mm-hmm.
and it's just perverted it,
And pervert.
Yes.
right? Because then there's, I don't want to go too far, but the social media now, everybody butt naked, right?
Mhm. But that made no sense.
That's extremely annoying.
It is very it's crazy to me
Mhm.
that you sit in your house and show us in your drawers while you getting dressed.
Right.
That
But you
makes no
take the
sense.
time to set your camera. I think you just said that before.
Yeah, and
set
but
your
that's
camera up, angle it, and turn it. And
yeah, and it's a
schedule it to come
mental
on.
it's a mental
Right.
problem. But people, we watch it and now it has deemed as
Mhm.
normal.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And God's children,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about God's children.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop
Mm-hmm.
because we control the masses, right? Y'all get that? What I'm saying is,
Mm-hmm.
if we would stop, everybody else would follow.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yep. Yep.
Once we get that and understand it, because one of these statistics here, I'm gonna read it real quick and we can get off. Let's see here. Where am I at? On Facebook, you know, the highest percentage out of the cultures between white, black, and Hispanic and Asian is online. It is black. Okay, it's black.
That's
It's
okay.
black. It's melanated people. If we control, if we will stop and line ourselves up and say cease and desist all the pervertedness, the nonsense online, as you say, Marcus, the crazy podcast, the just saying stuff that doesn't make any sense or have no backing or anything behind it. If we will stop, man, this stuff, everything else will line up and everybody else will follow. You know what I'm saying? It's time for God's children to line up and stop this. It's madness. It's becoming to a point of madness, and like y'all said, like you said, Kev, it's not gonna get any better. The floodgates is open and it's getting worse. But we have to stop it because this next generation behind us, we got to look out for these babies that's coming up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look out for like the grandbabies. All they know is,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's all they
That's
know.
all they know. That's all they know.
And they getting so much information and stuff is being like shot out to them. Like we gotta protect it. And it's time for us to line up and say no and look at the realness and stop jumping on bandwagons or whatever the trend, because such and such say let's band together and do this. Why don't we band together, get in our neighborhoods and our own tribes and stop our own, I'm about to cuss, line our own stuff up.
Yes.
What does it mean? Why don't we line our own stuff up and line our own families up? Why don't we stop doing extra outside and line ourselves up? You understand? Why don't we say no, stop? If we see young ladies doing that, nah, stop. You understand? Why are we applauding that? But we won't talk about it. We won't boycott that. We'll boycott something else that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And I keep speaking of it because it burns me up, because it's so much that we could do more. But we'll band together for that because that doesn't take any work. But the other thing, that takes work. It takes coming out of my own self, doing something that I don't normally do, or doing something that I got to face my own ugly truth, but I don't want to face it. But this is easy. I can stop going over to a place.
Right.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying? That doesn't. It just bothers me because the mental
Mm-hmm.
is all over the place. And social media is killing it. It's
Mhm.
killing our babies.
Yes.
It's killing our seniors.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Social
killing us.
media also includes the video games
Yes. Yeah.
because we have a whole slew of, I mean, where I work, a whole slew of kids who act out what they was playing.
And that's been a topic for a long
A
time.
long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's been out there for a long time.
Yeah. And now they've used that. And I know maybe I'm a little late on it, but I'm just finding out, y'all. Today, years old at the facility, found out that they use these video games to challenge gang initiations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they'll tell you, watch this.
Yeah, that's been
that.
that's been going.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things
Yeah.
that nobody touches on
Nobody
because that's
touches
$1 billion corporation.
See what I'm
That's $1
saying?
billion
That is
industry.
a whole situation.
Yeah.
That what? You know what I mean? And
Nobody
that's a part
pays
of it.
attention to it.
That is a part of it. And nobody pays attention to it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very serious. But his children,
right.
we need to line up.
Okay.
We need to line up. That's what it boils down to.
Yes.
His children. to
We know
line up.
better. We do better.
It's time for our
Yeah.
children. His
And
children.
we
to
can
line up.
start right here in our stuff, in our home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't go across the street.
Right.
You got right here, right at your own house. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to.
yeah.
We need to. All right, fam.
Mm,
Thank y'all.
awesome discussion.
Yes, we've been on here 56 minutes. Past our time.
It'd be nice if our virtual world would chime in at times. I know y'all have a lot to say about some of the stuff we talk about. Let's talk about it. It's real talk, right? Authentic discussion. So we need your feedback. So can y'all please the next time we're together, y'all join in with us and have the conversation, and we would love to respond. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a discussion. It's not just us on here, but we're on this. We get this platform and we can talk to anybody and everybody, whether you agree or not. You know what I'm saying? It's a discussion, and so anyway, we join you guys to meet us next Wednesday
Yes,
at
yes.
8:15, right? We'll be
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
with another topic. We don't know. We just kind of wait until the day comes unless y'all give us one. You can drop it in a comment. We see it during the week.
Yeah.
All
Thank y'all.
right. Thank you
fam,
guys, though,
joining.
for joining us.
Yes, the main thing,
Mhm.
we need to line up and line ourselves. Family, line ourselves up.
Mm.
Stop jumping on the bandwagon. Stop with the trends. Stop.
Mhm.
We are a trend. You know what I'm saying?
We are the trend.
Yeah.
Let us stop the trend.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's
Stop. That's all I'm gonna say. Stop. STOP. We gotta stop.
STOP.
Yes.
We gotta stop.
Okay.
We gotta stop being ignorant and be wise in what we do and
Yes.
how we move. And stop listening to others to follow and jumping on some off of emotion,
Mhm.
because that's where it's cool. The enemy knows how to drag your
Yeah,
emotion,
you do.
and he grabs it and he tugs you like that big, thick rope that we used to climb in gym class
Mhm.
and wrap it around you, and it's we get tugged in and we don't know how to get away.
Mhm.
Let that go.
Yeah.
Let that go. It's time for his children to come together. I'm gonna keep repeating it
I
and
was
saying
gonna
it more and more. and more. It's time for
You
his
sound like Jeremiah.
children. It's time for his children
Yeah.
to stop and stop being ignorant.
Yes.
Stop being silly. And stop.
Stop.
Just stop.
Yes.
This stop. Okay.
Amen.
And listen to God.
That's powerful. Yeah.
We all hear him. He talks to every one of us. Some things we don't want to hear, but his children need to line up. It's time for his children to come together and line up. The causes can be good for a moment. That's just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, if we come together as one, it's so powerful. We can change the whole atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Others will follow because they're waiting for us to move,
Mm-hmm.
not on superficial stuff,
Yeah.
but on truth.
Amen.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. I ain't gonna ramble. Love you, family. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you, Sis Cass.
Yes. Woo.
Thank you, Mr. Marcus T. Love y'all so much.
Love
See
you back.
y'all
Love you.
next what?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, God willing. back online.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Right.
Having a good talk.
Right.
Man.
All right. You guys have a great week.